everybody, Chef Jacob here with Nature's Prime Organic Foods. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a delicious old-fashioned chicken and dumplings with our Heavenly Farms chicken legs and thighs. So what we have here is a large stock pot, approximately 12 quarts. We've got the heat set to a medium-high. We also have our Nature's Prime Organics Foods Heavenly Farms chicken breasts and thighs. We have 4 quarts of water, and we have a virgin olive oil here. Of course, it's going to be organic. The first thing we're going to do is make sure those chicken thighs are patted dry. I'm going to put about 1 ounce or 2 tablespoons of oil into that pan, and we're going to move it around a little bit, coat that bottom. The key here is having a nice sear on those legs and thighs. We're going to take our legs and thighs. We're going to put those into the pan. Our chicken legs are flipped and browned on both sides. We've got all these delicious little bits of goodness on the bottom, which we're going to add to the deep flavor. Now I'm going to use a little bit of water, filtered water, to stick in here to simmer the chicken legs and get them soft, thighs, and get them tender. You can use chicken stock if you want to, but I think it just adds an unnecessary amount of salt into it. You can see that nice little yellow coming off of there right around here. That's all the delicious chicken fat that we're looking for, all that naturally organic goodness that's good for your body. Now we're going to turn these and let them get to a boil. And here we have our chicken boiling. It's come to a high boil here. You see it's starting to foam up. Those are some of the proteins that are getting released from the chicken there. We're going to lower that heat down to a simmer, a slow simmer. You don't want to cook it too fast. You want this to get really nice and tender. We're going to let it sit here and simmer on low, just like that. We'll put our lid on it. It's like the Ronco Mystery Oven. We're going to set it and forget it. Okay folks, well, where we left off yesterday was we were boiling the chicken. I pulled the chicken out of the pot. We took the chicken off of the bone. It's in nice large chunks here. We want to leave it like that because we still have to simmer this out a little bit more. We have approximately 1 cup of celery, 1 cup of diced carrot, and 1.5 cups of diced onion. What I also have here is the reserved liquid from the chicken when it was cooking, so a chicken broth if you may. There's about 3 cups left here after I scraped off of the fat. You take it and you put it in the refrigerator, the fat will rise to the top and you can scrape it off. See, it's kind of jiggly like jello. It's what you want to have. It's good quality chicken there. Now what else we have is we just have some regular old-fashioned roux. And I make mine a little bit different just to keep the fat content down. I use less butter and more flour. Okay, our first order of business here today is we have our stock pot. We have it up on medium-high. I'm going to add another tablespoon of oil in here, olive oil. What we want to do is we want to get a little bit of sweat and color on these vegetables. And see it's smoking, means it's ready. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add our celery, onion, our carrot, I also have a bit of seasoning here. I have approximately 1.5 teaspoons of thyme leaf and 1 teaspoon of oregano. I'm going to dump that in there right now so it gets nice and aromatic. I also have some sage leaves out of my organic garden. I'm going to put a couple of sage leaves in there. Sage is one of my favorite vegetables. Very earthy, homey, and reminds me of the holidays. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to saute this for approximately a minute or 2 on high. Now that we have this been sauteing for about 2 minutes here, they're getting a little bit translucent and very aromatic. We're going to put approximately 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic in there. At this point, we want to take our chicken stock. Now there's 3 cups of chicken stock here. From the pan that we cooked the chicken in. We want about 4 to 6 cups depending on the volume of the chicken that you got. So depends on how runny you like your chicken and dumplings. I don't like mine runny. You can see it's kind of stewy here. So I'm going to put another cup of chicken stock in here that I prepared previously. It's always a good idea that if you're making chicken, you're deboning chicken, or you're making soups or something, you make your own chicken stock. That way you know it's going in there and there's not too much salt. And we're going to bring this up to a boil. Alright, you can see our stew here is boiling at a nice rapid rate. We're going to take our roux. We're going to slowly incorporate that. I eyeball it. I always have roux sitting around, so I just put it in with a whip. You want to make sure you're incorporating quickly, otherwise that's how you end up with lumps. This is going to start to come together pretty quick, so make sure you're stirring it. Make sure that your pot is at a boil and that your roux is at room temperature, otherwise it's also going to bind up into little balls. It's always cold into hot or hot into cold. You can take hot roux and put it into a cold mixture and also then bring that mixture up to a boil, and that'll thicken too. So you can see it's getting that nice chicken gravy color. And it will continue to thicken as it cooks and as it sits. Okay, so we're simmering. Right now is the time that we want to adjust the seasonings. Take yourself a little spoon. And you get a nice glazed color on the glazed gravy look on the back. It's drippy. When it's ready to go, I'm going to put a little bit of white pepper in there. A little bit of kosher salt. Just like that. Don't over salt it right now because you want to let the chicken cook. And you can salt it right at the end too. You can remember, you can never take away salt. You can only put it in. So now we're going to dump our chicken in there. Just like that. Get the chicken pushed down in there. The heat is on low. Now we're going to take our biscuits, or our dumplings, if you may. I used an all-organic baking mix, similar to a Bisquick. We're just going to drop these in there by the spoonful and steam them. They'll float right on top. Just take them off the spoon like that. Just drop them right in there. Got all the biscuits in here. We're going to bring it up about medium. We're going to put the lid on it. We're going to let the steam from the chicken and dumplings steam those dumplings. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 25. You could put this over biscuits also, but I used a baking mix. You could just use a regular old drop biscuit mix also. All right, now we're going to check our dumplings. Ooh, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that on there. But you see how they're nice and puffy? They're going to be firm to the touch and floaty. Just nice little bubbles coming off there. You see, I put a little bit of dill in mine too. My wife likes the flavor dill. I think it adds a nice tang to it. So, looks like those are about ready. Here we go, folks. It's our end result for all of our hard work. Got some nice big chunks of chicken. Some delicious biscuits for sopping up all that unbelievable gravy that we just made. That is delicious.